Oppenheimer is the dad movie of the decade. What the hell do you even mean by that? This has been a narrative, and it's something that I pointed out recently in my Reacher video. It's like, what is the dad category of media? Like, what does that even encompass? And why are you trying to affix that to a commie-sympathetic biopic staged in the 1930s and 40s? That's a dad movie. It's a dad movie because what? There was some kind of formulaic sex scene with somebody that has the body of a 12-year-old boy. I'm not talking about Cillian Murphy, by the way, but a dad movie of the decade. Straightforward storytelling, engaging plots, making 3 hours magically disappear. Some of the best filmmaking that Christopher Nolan has done in his career, not just even in recent years. Yeah, very interesting stuff that you want to go ahead and give up to the dads, trying to demonize it and make it as unpopular as possible as your own pet ideological projects fall by the wayside. Interesting what you're trying to do there, but I found this story to be kind of hilarious how Cillian Murphy and Florence Pugh's Oppenheimer sex scene got awkwardly interrupted. Not ideal. Yeah, the story's a little bit hilarious, and yeah, which dad hasn't been there before? A little bit of awkward sex. How do you think you got here there, sporting to begin with? During a Universal panel with the Oppenheimer stars, director Christopher Nolan Florence Pugh revealed that she and co-star Cillian Murphy were filming their sex scene when they were awkwardly interrupted. In the middle of our sex scene, the camera broke. Ooh, that sucks, she said. No one knows this, but it did. Our camera broke when we were both naked, and it was not ideal timing. Yeah, exactly. You're both just kind of laying there. But I think, like, I haven't seen the film, but the way that it was described, I think that she's riding him, and it's a very kind of robotic thing, because for as great of a filmmaker as Christopher Nolan is, when it comes to human interaction, the guy's he's a little bit formulaic. Maybe that's just the way that communists fuck. I have no idea. But I've been with some feminists, and that's kind of like communists, like, that are a little bit more adventurous than that. But anyways, in the film, Pugh played a Gene Tatlock, J. Robert Oppenheimer's a communist lover that he cheated on with Kitty, who's portrayed by Emily Bluntwith. All right, remember, guys, Oppenheimer, he wasn't a communist at all, wasn't a communist sympathizer. It's just all of his friends were communists. He was fucking a communist. No, nothing to see there. The story follows Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. Yes, I have become death. And they didn't even recreate that speech. Oh, well. And a group of scientists as they rushed to complete the infamous Manhattan Project, which culminated in the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, on August 6, 1945. And yes, they didn't show the bombings, but, like I said, they can't all be winners. It's leading the race for the 2024 Oscars with a whopping 13 nominations. Congratulations to that, including Best Picture, Best Director for Nolan, Best Actor for Murphy, Best Supporting Actor for Robert Downey Jr., and Best Supporting Actress for Blunt. Florence Pugh and her awful hairstyle and stupid bullnose septum piercing didn't quite get the nomination. Pugh, who, didn't earn the nomination, said that she made the best out of the blunder on set. "This is my moment to learn," she recalled saying at the time, "so tell me, what's wrong with this camera? You just make your moments." She's like, "Well, I'm just not going to shutter here, buddy." Oh, yeah, exactly, and good on her, and god damn it, man. It's like Emily Blunt's just about twice her age and looks 3 times as good as her. She got little sausage fingers, too. Nothing against that, it's just, it's kind of funny to point out. Oppenheimer's sex scene has previously been condemned by India in June of 2023. Didn't show enough bobs and vagine? Like, Indian officials slammed the scene as a scathing attack on Hinduism? What? Due to Jean, at one point, walking over to a bookshelf and grabbing a copy of the Hindu poem, Bhagavad Gita. Oppenheimer reads the line, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds." Has come to our notice, yet the movie Oppenheimer contains a scene that makes a scathing attack on Hinduism. Yeah. Those aren't the only people that are personally feeling attacked. That would be the critic side of things. And well, like I posited at the outset, Oppenheimer, not exactly that macho dad type movie the same way or cut from the same cloth that the Reacher show is, at least in my opinion, and at least in the opinions of the people that have watched this stuff. I'm just a simple outside observer seeing some of the promotional material, realizing that an ass-kicking 6.5-foot former Marine is a little bit different than a beaker-huffing nerd from the 1940s. A little bit different, but apparently they're both just, hyper-masculine macho men, according to Some pathetic critics. Oppenheimer critic says movie's award season success marks a troubling return to the macho dad movies. This has the exact same air about it as, oh my god, there was an article I think from back in 2016 about one of those quote unquote journalists who went out there and had PTSD after going to a firing range. Like, it has that same type of energy, but what's he talking about right here? Online backlash ensued after a media critic questioned whether the award season success of Oppenheimer meant Hollywood is returning to a troubling era oversaturated with macho dad movies. There it is again. The Christopher Nolan directed epic about the physicist behind the atomic bomb was a critical and commercial hit. It won 5 Golden Globes earlier this month, including Best Motion Picture Drama and Best Director. Oppenheimer earned 13 Academy Award nominations this week, making it one of the most nominated movies in Oscar history. On Tuesday, The Independent tweeted, "Does Oppenheimer..." Oh, I'm sorry, I should get into character for this one. All right. Put in the blue hair dye, manifest the true cuck. Does Oppenheimer's award season domination herald the troubling return to Hollywood's macho dad movie days? Oh my god, this is very troubling. But okay, and I'd imagine that he was probably having these same sort of feelings by seeing, all of the macho aggression with Top Gun Maverick from last year. But why Oppenheimer? Why Oppenheimer? From the people that reviewed it, they're like seeing this article going, it's not macho. It's a good film, and it tells a very important story, one that's both historically and culturally important. It's just macho isn't the first thing that comes to mind. A post linked to an article by culture reporter Louis Chilton, only the French could do something like this, who called the 3-hour biopic quintessentially one for the guys. I would show you the article, but it's paywalled and it just immediately gets blotted out, just like the GQ headline that I have right here. It's like good for an introduction, but outside of that, it's totally worthless. Represents everything the Oscar has been trying to move away from. Oh my god. Yeah, and when the Oscars were trying to move away from films that nobody liked, or move towards films that nobody liked, and away from the films that people actually resonated with, what happened to the Oscars? All right, they were on the brink of collapse. Interesting. Rotten Tomatoes film critic Austin Burke has said that while only being 23 days into 2024, we have already the worst take of the year. Let's go. I kind of agree with that one. This is a take. Of all the takes in the world, this is definitely one of them. Podcast host and culture writer Phil Walsh has similarly tweeted, "What are you giblet heads talking about?" The Bulwark culture editor Sonny Birch wrote, "Many users on social media took issue with the characterization of Oppenheimer as a macho movie." Yeah, exactly. "Bro, I was so jacked with testosterone after seeing Oppenheimer that I punched the first dude I saw right in the kisser. He returned the favor. We hugged. Bro, and then we went immediately to the men's washroom and let bombs go off simultaneously while holding hands, brother. It was so cool." Television and film editor Ryan Crum joked, "Scientists thrilled to be called macho for the first time in their lives. Gunshots." Writer Aaliyah Marilla Thomas tweeted, "Yeah, exactly." Puck News box office columnist little Scotty Medelson also weighed in on the film commentary, writing, "Brace for stupidity on this one. If you thought Oppenheimer being a macho dad movie was a bad take, we were so close to Barbenheimer not being used as a culture war cudgel. What the hell was the entire premise of Barbie, if not being a man-hating manifesto? Ungoddamn believable." But the fact that the media is starting to get concerned, even for some of the themes and opinion expressed in a historical biopic, thinking that that's too macho, too masculine, and everybody simultaneously jumping on that terrible opinion. Like I said before with the Reacher video, the return of the dad film, trying to turn that into a slur, it's not going to end up working, and it's just simply going to make for an easy way to go ahead and assess a film's quality without even having to read a single review on it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.